What's up, everybody? I just want to make this quick video talking about if Pokemon Center ETBs are actually worth buying or not. So let's get straight into it. So there's an interesting situation that's going on right now with Pokemon Center ETBs because some of them are definitely worth buying right now, in my opinion. Of course, this is all just my opinion, all just my speculation. I could be completely wrong with any of these boxes, so take all my information with a grain of salt. But yeah, so right now we're gonna look at Twilight Masquerade. And Twilight Masquerade right now is actually a really good buy because at 118, it's not really going to go higher or lower than this. I think this is kind of at it's a stable rate right now. It's a stable price. I definitely think Twilight Masquerade would be a decent buy, especially since if you look at the yearly chart, of course, when it released, it was a really kind of like not that good set. $70 was kind of what it was staying at. But right now, especially after this huge Pokemon boom, $100 is not bad for Twilight Masquerade, especially for the Pokemon Center versions. And if we look at the volatility, people are still buying it. 6 items sold between May 19th and May 23rd. May 12th, May 18th, 19 items sold. So people are definitely still interested in this, obviously, and people are still buying it. And matter of fact, they're actually buying it at a higher rate right now. There's more interest in it right now than back in last August. Here, like as you guys can see, 0 items sold, 1 item sold. So more people are interested in it now, especially obviously that's because of the recent demand spike. But yeah, definitely Twilight Masquerade I think is a decent buy. If you take a look at some other ones, Stellar Crown we have here. Stellar Crown is one of those that's actually not that good of a buy in my opinion. Right now is kind of at its peak. I feel like it's gonna drop a lot. People are obviously still buying it, not a lot though. You guys can see, 0 items sold here. One, Stellar Crown already is not that great of a set, and people are not really willing to buy it at 141. It's just too steep. I think it's gonna crash, so I don't recommend buying this one, at least not right now. If you look at the 6 month chart, it's just been increasing, but I feel like there's gonna be a crash coming soon, especially with the Pokemon demand. So this is a very risky set. So let's take a look at some other ETBs here. We have Surging Sparks, and this one's an interesting one. I definitely think it's a decent buy right now. However, a bunch of people are not really buying it recently. I don't know why. Maybe that's just a glitch. It says 0 items sold, but just a couple of people are interested in this. Here has 20 items sold in May 14th to May 16th, so there's definitely still interest in Surging Sparks, and with a pretty significant price drop as well. It's a decent buy. I think this is a decent ETB to invest in if you guys are wanting to buy it. The Pokemon Center Surging Sparks ETB. If you take a look at the yearly graph, obviously it's a very recent set. Has it right now? It's a pretty low price. If we look at back, a year ago or at least in January, it's kind of lingering around that price. It's at least cheaper than it was in March, which is good. So it's a decent buy. Not that great, not too bad. But I think Prismatic is definitely a more interesting situation. If you look at the Pokemon Center ETBs for Prismatic, if you guys watched my previous video, I said that within the next week or so, especially with the Destined Rivals hype, I think it's going to be a significant crash, and there was, but now it's already slowly increasing. So if you guys want to buy it, still at a decent discount, but Prismatic Evolution, Pokemon Center Prismatic Evolution, the ETB is a decent buy right now, especially since if you look at the price in April, it was a very high price. So this is a decent ETB to buy. Lots of interest, very hyped set as well. Prismatic is a classic one. Pokemon Center 151 ETBs are interesting as well. I don't think you should actually buy these ones just because it's way too expensive. Like I've seen these go on eBay for like $600-700. Way too expensive. I don't think you guys should buy this one. Of course, like I said, I could be completely wrong though. So we'll just have to wait and see, obviously. But this just keeps increasing. So, but it's not even at that good of a rate, to be honest with you. So I don't know. It's an interesting one if you guys have the money for it. You guys really like the set. It's a good set. Don't get me wrong, but it's just a little too expensive right now, in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think. Paldean Fates, that's a decent set as well. Kind of already mentioned it, but yeah. Fusion Strike is a really interesting set. So Fusion Strike has definitely been in the news recently for being a really expensive set, especially in recent times. If you look at, within the past week or so, it's like a $200 ETB, especially the Pokemon Center ones, which are always more expensive than the normal ones. Not a lot of people are buying it at that price. Obviously, it's absurd, but if you were investing in this, back, even just a month ago, it's pretty good return on investment. But right now, I don't think you should invest in it. It's just at a really unstable price. I feel like it's gonna decrease at some point, maybe with the new set release. It's just kind of unstable, and it's really expensive. Not a lot of people are buying it. Average daily sold is 2, and yeah, it's not at a great point right now. If you take a look at Lost Origins is definitely another interesting one here. However, I do think it's still relatively expensive, so it might not be the best buy right now. Especially since there's not a lot of interest in this either. Average daily sold is 1. It's definitely not that great of a set either. I remember opening Lost Origins; it wasn't that great. It's definitely an overhyped set. Yeah, I don't think you should get Lost Origins, or at least not the Pokemon Center ones. Brilliant Stars is the last one I'll take a look at. Brilliant Stars is definitely one of the better sets actually, because Brilliant Stars is a very good set. A lot of people like it for some reason. At least in my opinion, I thought it was a very good set. A lot of people like it. It's got the RCS. It's a really nice ETB. Right now, it's actually at a pretty decent price. 18 items sold. Um, right now, I don't know why it's not selling a lot right now, but when I was at 110, 120, 15 items sold here, 5 items sold. People are definitely still interested in this, and with a significant price drop from March, as you guys can see, it's at $15 less than it was before. It's a decent buy in my opinion. I don't think it's really gonna get any cheaper, to be honest with you, either, because it's definitely not gonna go what it was in February. So I think it's a decent buy as well. Brilliant Stars. Yeah, what do you guys think? But that's a bunch of Pokemon Center ETBs. So to sum it all up, I definitely think some Pokemon Center ETBs are worth it, are definitely worth investing in my opinion. Like I said, I couldn't be completely wrong with any of these. It's all just my speculation. So take all this with a grain of salt. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below, of course. But yeah, I think some of them are definitely worth it, but some of them are definitely not worth it. Like that 151 box is a crazy price, over $500, which is way above market price. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new, like the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.